you're really at the crux of this movement.
Okay, let's do it, Emily.
We.
I don't know the 14 words. I just know that every time I hear the number 14, I'm suspicious.
Oh, well, don't, because there is nothing wrong with these words. These are perfectly harmless words. Let's say it together, okay?
Okay.
We must secure
We must secure
the existence of our people
the existence of our people
and a future for white children.
and a future for Western children.
White, because do you want to replace Europe with, you're saying you want to replace it with other races as long as they adhere to Western chauvinist ideals. That's totally cool, right?
Sure, yes.
What? So you want America to be white people to be a minority in America?
I don't think that's an issue if we focus on Western chauvinism. We have to deal with the hand we're dealt.
But you just said the 14 words, Gavin. You just said it. It wasn't that hard.
Oy vey. All right, thanks for coming on the show, Emily.
Oy vey!
I like you more than a friend.
Now listen, I love you too, Gavin. But you're playing my cartoon at the thing, regardless of whether I come or not, right? Because I'm just concerned about my personal safety.
There's no way that you can watch that video with Gavin McInnes, one of the figures, one of the shining lights of the alt-right, alt-light, new Republican, libertarian, conservative, classical liberal movement, saying the 14 words that are the anathema, ethos of the Nazi movement, of the white nationalist movement, and tell me that there's any daylight between those two movements. Western chauvinism is not defending liberal democracy. Western chauvinism is basically, let's keep the minorities we have here. Let us force them to become culturally homogenous. Go white or die, for lack of more specific terms, right? Go Western or go home is no different, is really no different than the idea of go white, be white, be white or go home. The people that are going to be put on the train to Auschwitz are going to either be brown people who refuse to completely divest themselves of any cultural identity whatsoever, or brown people just because even if they westernize, they're just brown. So I don't really see a difference between the position advocated by Emily Eustace, the Nazi on the right in the picture, the open Nazi, who is known as Pistachio Girl and comes from the same little rat's nest that Millennial Woes and Richard Spencer came out of, which is the big NPI celebration a few years ago, where the Nazi movement came out, so to speak, with as the leaders of the alt-right after, the left had been telling all these Western classical liberals that they were getting Nazi in their liberalism. So, on the one hand, you have a xenophobic movement in the alt-right, new right, whatever they've rebranded themselves. Pepe Light. Albino Pepe. And then you have classic Pepe, which is the openly white nationalist, ethno-statist faction of the alt-right, which is just people like Pistachio Girl and Richard Spencer, who are just like, well, we're xenophobic and racist. So I don't see where I'm supposed to split hairs and go, well, there's the polite alt-right, and then there are the white nationalists. I don't see any sort of coalition between myself or anyone reasonable with someone like Gavin McInnes. And if Western liberal values are fundamentally xenophobic, I think McInnes got this from the distinction between racism the distinction between what discrimination means in North America and what discrimination means in Europe. In Europe, 9 times out of 10, ostracizing people, the outgroup, is premised upon immigration. The hysteria that the nationalists in Europe capitalize on is the impending threat of Muslim breeding. The white genocide is very specifically premised upon foreigners coming in and breeding good blood out. Good blood. Pure blood. They've read either too much Harry Potter or too much Twilight, that they have this kind of weird concept of what clean blood, pure blood is. It's all very sort of based in fiction and mythology. But again, this distinction without a difference of in North America, the Jews are already here, and in Europe, the Jews are on their way, and they're coming to fuck your women, and they're coming to fuck you out of your home. You know, it's a question of, you know, the enemy within versus the enemy without. I can't see pushing back against one without pushing back against the other. When Gavin McInnes, a purportedly liberal, Western liberal hero, can sit there and say the 14 words just fine, and for him, the only thing that needs to be changed is from white to Western. The eugenics part doesn't have to go. None of the other, like, deeply anti-liberal, anti-humanistic sentiment inside the 14 words bothers Gavin McInnes. All that bothers him is a bullshit semantic difference between white and Western. Earlier on in that video, he champions and endorses her. What's funny is that the video that I pulled this from, it was put up by some fucking Nazi. It's a mirror. I don't think Gavin McInnes has the original one up anywhere. It is a mirror by some Nazi rando who decided to put there. You'll see like weird subtitles on there. Those aren't my subtitles. The pride of this video is that Emily Eustace lampshaded Gavin McInnes. Lampshading is like some loose terminology within the Stormfront community about when they take someone who is sort of a few degrees off from being subscribed to their philosophy, and they get them, a friend of mine pointed this out about religion, but I think that it can apply to white nationalists too, is like they just, all you got to do with lampshading is keep the person's head nodding. So what they do is they ask, and Christians, proselytizers, not all Christians, but proselytizers of any kind do this. They play this game, the head nod game. Do you like cookies? Yeah. Do you like getting laid? Yeah. And you keep on nodding your head. Yeah, I like weed. Yeah, I like porn. Yeah, I like eating bacon cheeseburgers. And then they sort of like insert, but so you like Jesus too, and you go. Ooh. So Gavin McInnes was head nodding that whole interview because it's very important to him to be edgy and to do white pride until it is no longer within the realm of plausible deniability. That's what's disgusting to me, is that Pistachio Girl and Gavin McInnes are talking about the same shit. Gavin McInnes just wants to be able to deny that's what he's advocating. I'll at least give Pistachio Girl the fucking credit of actually saying, I'm garbage, I'm a Nazi. The only thing that I think is good about myself and worth preserving is the color of my skin, and the color of the skin of the person who I fuck is super important. Gavin McInnes raps the exact same bullshit in code words and dog whistles. Western is just a fucking dog whistle for the exact same thing that Pistachio Girl and Millennial Woes and Richard Spencer and David Duke are advocating. It's the same shit. Nationalism, Westernism, whatever you want to call it. Cultural purity. You'll sometimes hear this talking point as being against multiculturalism. It's just the same fucking dog whistle. White. Western. White. There's no compunction anymore for what Emily Eustace represents in that moment with 13 of the 14 words getting through is how little space is left between the right wing in the Western world and full blown fascism. Ethno-fascism.